The chair and moderator for the session is Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, Param Vishes Seva Medal, Ati Vishes Seva Medal, Vishes Seva Medal retired, former Director General Artillery. Sir, may I request you to kindly come up on the stage? I now request Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar to kindly start the proceedings. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Can I have the first slide? Right, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the panel. We have a large panel, and we come to the third session, by which time, from the morning to now, 3/4 have run away. Okay, but having said that, I'll put across something new, and I'm sure my panelists will put even something more new. And this, hopefully, should be a very good session to go along with. Okay, where do I start? Look, these are the military technologies of this century. And in this century, these technologies will rule. And wherever you go, however you do, this is what you're going to talk of. And from morning to now, if you've seen, you've not covered all of them, right? You're talking a lot of data, AI, share, and all that. What do you do with it? Where's the cloud for it? Okay? What about medical? You're going to have casualties in the battlefield. That's where synthetic biology comes in. You want reach. No one has spoken of propulsion engines and aero engines and all that. Technology is just not AI and cyber. And the focus today, unfortunately, largely, has been on that. So you need to widen your horizon of thinking when you talk of technology for battlefield tomorrow. And unless you get this whole story right, you're out of the game. When you talk of battlefield technology, you're talking of nuclear also. What are you going to do in high altitude? Are you going to keep burning fossil fuels interminably and handle 2 fuel cells for a thing? The major elephants in the room are not being tackled by us. Okay? Right. The second question is, what do you do with all these technologies? You can't take them home. You can't put them on the battlefield unless you convert them into something else. Yeah, next please. And this is what you do. How do you convert each of these technologies into weapon systems? Right? And this is a matrix which you have to develop for each terrain. And this is a matrix for high altitude. Okay? You want to have battlefield transparency. It means putting 5 to 6 technologies together, integrating them and putting them in the right mix. You want to have reach. Again, you need propulsion, unmanned systems, guidance and control and everything. So that matrix gives you the basic technology which I showed you earlier. And this gives you the conversion of those technologies practically on ground, what you have to do. And that roadmap or that thinking or vision, do we have it? Or are you thinking on simple terms? Let me tell you, both these slides I made about 1 year back. And where did I make it? I made it when I watched a conversation between the CEO of Google, ex-CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, and the CFO of AI, OpenAI. And that was when OpenAI had just come up and ChatGPT had just started. I saw this conversation, and it is from there I derived these, and I added more, right? It's not the sum total of this, and this is what it is. And I've been speaking of these two very slides almost everywhere anyone talks to me or wants me to talk on technology. And just for your information, I've shown this to the Vice Chief and the CDS also. I've spoken to them. And I'm writing an article in depth for IDSA in their journal. Right? And I'll forward it to you when I finish it. But this is something which we have to think of. When you talk of battlefield energy, it is just not fuel cells. It's renewables. It's space-based systems. It's nuclear. You're looking at fusion. You're looking at thorium. If China can put a thorium or plan to think of putting a thorium molten salt reactor on a ship, why can't we take that same thing or something like that and put it in high altitudes and solve your problems? You are the largest amount of thorium. You are the biggest what shall I say, researcher of thorium. Do we have that vision to think technology not for now, but 10, 15, 20 years ahead? That's the challenge. Yeah, next slide, please. Look at this. This is an interesting article which I'd like everyone to read. It's in Washington Post. It talks of what a Russian and Ukrainian general agree on. He says the battle space is different. I would suggest all of you in uniform and not in uniform read this article. Okay? Now, what are the main things? I'm not going to go into the thing. Next, please. He says traditional maneuver forces are sitting ducks. We are fighting an algorithm war. He talks of fog of war has cleared because of battlefield transference. Air defense triumphs over military aviation. No one spoke of air defense today. We just not spoken of it. It zinged air forces, and that is why Russia is still stuck in the borders of Ukraine and not been able to cross. Okay, you're looking at superiority in artillery, and you need radical rearmament, which is very important. We don't understand it. And last, the best weapons are small and cheap. Have we done a cost analysis of what how we're going to fight? And that's what the latest technologies should lead you to, not make it costlier. Yeah, next please. Okay, you take a full thing, and in fact, for clause only, I've done a research and article on rockets and things like that, because the proliferation of rockets, whether it's between Israel and Hamas, or in Russia, or the coercive use by North Korea and China. If you have a look at it, this is what comes out. You have the traditional weapons which are tanks, artillery, aircraft, infantry, they are there. You have still not handled those technologies. You need increased domain awareness, where you need space, UAVs, networking, AI, narratives. If you don't fight the narrative battle, you're out of the equation. And then the future weapons are UAVs, rockets, missiles, digital and space, nuclear capability. No one's spoken of nuclear capability today. The Chinese fellow is tripling his arsenal. What are we doing? Isn't that capability development? Are we thinking of it? Okay. And then, let's come to a reality. Hybrid grey zone war is a reality. That's the new normal. Are we developing and orienting our technology to this new hybrid normal? There's something which Subrata Saha did touch upon. Okay. Your operational ability and your operational clairvoyance has to be clear. Otherwise, the technologies you're going to go after are fake. Okay, next please. Look, as far as technology is concerned, you must understand the best technology is that which wins you the battle. It might not be the latest technology, right? And you see again a thing was given, Vietnam, Afghanistan. What does it prove you? You don't need great technology to win battles. You need that technology which you need to win a battle. The cheapest and the most effective technology is one which you own. It might be the lowest form of technology, but that's the best technology. Don't go for the best solutions, go for the optimum solution. Don't go for what China has done. Stop aping China. Whatever China has done, no one knows whether it's going to work in war or not. But what you have done, based on your operational experience, if you do a little upgradation, you are better off. You can defeat the Chinese or Americans or whoever it is. Right? The costliest technology is what you buy or import, and that's what we've been doing for 75 years. Time to change the game. Okay. Technology upgradation is the name of the game, not new technologies, new weapons, new shiny equipment. And we have not spoken of it today. How much are you investing into upgradation of existing systems? Half your missile systems can be upgraded by better propulsion technology. We have not spoken of it. That's why I'm trying to talk something else. I'm talking something different from AI, cyber, and those 3-4 click words. No. A lot of technology is happening in the old brick and mortar space, which you need to make everything. Right? There is no choice but to make your own technology. And we need a national strategy for military technology. I'm not talking of an armed forces strategy. It's a national strategy which we need, which comprises original research, upgradation, substitution, import substitution. Have you thought of it? Have you gone into a process form of reverse engineering? Big question mark. Right? And that's part of technology, because if you reverse engineer, you know that technology, tomorrow you can evolve into something else. Whole day today, we are talking of revolutionary technology. Where is that evolutionary technology where the Soviets have progressed from T-34 tank to T-90 tank, and now they've gone to T-14 Armata? You want to make that Armata like we made Arjun. Did we start with T-34? Or today what you have is your T-34 of this century. Can you evolve into the next? Or you want to just revolve? Big question. Okay, then what about alternate strategies? If you, cooled thermal imaging system is very costly, you don't have that technology. Can you go for digital image processing as an alternate, cheaper form of technology? Because you're supposed to be a superpower in software. What are you doing about it? Are we thinking different? I would like to submit to many of you, we are not. If anyone challenges this, I am prepared for a debate. Okay, next. This is the structure which you need for capability development and progress ahead with new technologies. Business as usual is past. You need a knowledgeable military and a cultural change in the way we do things. And I leave this presentation with DG Claus. And right, look, the erstwhile one were the government services, DRDO, DPSUs. They are linked today. Khas karke DRDO and OFB. They are guile people, because OFB, you've broken them in pieces and they are underperforming. And by the time they recover back, it will be another 5 years to 10 years before they recover back. And there will be no use to any one of us for new technologies. You have just attempted to break the DRDO up. They are also going to be sulking for the next 5 years. Either way. One, if you break them, they are going to sulk because it's going to be a reformation. If you don't break them and they continue to have their way, they are again sulk. They say, you tried to sort me out, I am going to sort you out. I am talking of psychology. I am not talking anything against DRDO. Right? In such a case, it is the industry, startups and the academia which will come to your rescue for these new technologies. And this is where the repository is. We are underutilizing our academia. Let me tell you, 7 years I've been in IIT Madras. Okay? And I've sent at least 30, 40, 50, 60 students, my students, to Microsoft, Amazons of this world. There must be something wrong in the way we are doing, that Amazon and Microsoft pick up my chaps and take them. Right? And we don't pick them up. Or DRDO doesn't pick them up. Or OFB doesn't pick them up. Army to chhod do. Are we doing something different? We say our CEOs, Indian CEOs are running their countries, their thing. Why can't they work for us? It's a structural mental change you have to do. Okay, startups. One good thing which I say, I must tell you this. 6 years back when I spoke in a similar audience, here, not here in that bigger hall, we were talking of AI, cyber and all that. And I asked this question to about over 1,000 people who were sitting. Who will get all these technologies? The unanimous answer was startups and MSMEs. I'm glad that 6 years down the line, that we are hearing MSMEs and MSMEs and startups talk of this. That's one positive change. Not everything is bad. Okay. And of course, the business of BAE, ISRO and CSIR are very important in today's. When you talk of space, if you don't link up with ISRO, where are you going? If you're talking of battlefield energy, if you don't have a link up with the DAE, what are you doing? You need structural change and expansion of our capability development thinking altogether. Next, please. And things are not all bad. Look at this. This is by same Eric Schmidt whom I spoke of. He was in the Defense Innovation Board. And he talks of the US system. He says for 10 years, they take 10 years to change. It's the same problem they have and we have. So let's not get disheartened. Okay? Any change, any new capability coming in is a decadal process. Okay? So they are in the same boat as we are. It's just that we have to think differently to get there. In fact, I feel that at times we are better off than what they are. Okay, right. I'll stop here. Last slide, please. This is something which I again showed everyone. Today, the armed forces are strong enough to defend the territorial integrity of India. On that, let's not have a doubt. And I'm proud of them. Okay, but the challenge is, are we modern enough to anchor India's rise as a regional power? All this business of technology is for that. It's not that we can't stop the Chinese or the Pakistanis. Anyway, Pakistan is a joke. We should start looking over that. But even the Chinese